question is from Adam Pullman Fit. As you guys have met more and more trainers and coaches in the fitness industry, what do you feel is keeping them from seeing their clientele and business flourish?
Oh, this is great because we just had our team meetings this morning, and we meet with all of our staff one at a time. And one of the things that we were discussing with Eli and Danny is this actually exact topic. And we talked about this with Mind Pump when we first came in the space, and it was really apparent to us that the people that were the most popular on YouTube and Instagram, that were good trainers, that putting out really intelligent, smart information, was, I don't think they realize that they're speaking more to their peers and a very small percentage of the population. It would be other trainers, coaches, PTs, and then the high end, or high percentage of people that are very advanced, been lifting for a really long time, understand somewhat of anatomy, looking for the competitive edge inside the gym. When you look at the entire population, that really probably only makes up about 5%, maybe 10% of the entire population. And so one of the things that and this goes for a lot of these great trainers that we've met, that we've highlighted on our YouTube, that we've had on the podcast, and that we've met personally. It's like this vicious cycle that's happening. And the new ones up and coming, they look up to these kids. They look up to the Jeff Nippards that are putting out really good stuff, and a lot of these trainers that have created really good YouTube channels that I think are great. But the problem is, I don't think they realize who they're attracting, and that it's a very small pool that they are fishing in. And where if they wanted to continue to grow, they would learn to speak more to the average person, or the person that actually doesn't even want to go to the gym because of that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. What they don't, and I guess this is something that we put together as trainers a long time ago, was, I had to motivate people that didn't want to go to the gym, didn't like working out. And the more and more I was, or longer and longer that I was a personal trainer, the more and more I realized that this was the majority. Most people didn't love working out like I did, or love learning about anatomy, love learning about nutrition. Most people hated all that stuff, but they recognized that it's important. That's important for their health. It's important if they want to keep a good physique. It's important to be strong. It's important for longevity. So they're there. They're there because but they don't want any of this other deep shit. And these trainers, they tend to do that. They tend to speak at this level that attracts other trainers and other high-level people that are already motivated to go to the gym. And I think that's where we're missing in the fitness space, is learning to speak to everybody, and more importantly, speak to the other 95%.
They don't speak above everybody. And I think we noticed this right away, too, with how much the fitness industry was losing in terms of people out there on Instagram that were just doing like a hype reel, and we're taking their shirt out and then putting a supplement stack out there, and then putting out do these most simple basic things ever. And they were getting massive traction, and they were just, everybody was paying attention to what they're doing. And we're just like, this is crazy. This is not even good information, but yet they're getting a lot more eyes, a lot more people buying their products and all these things. So what was the lesson there was that we really have to simplify and reduce the amount of specific information we present in front of people, so that way we don't overwhelm them or not relate to them in terms of them just I just want to get in shape. Can I just focus on that?
Yeah, trainers and coaches focus too much on what they say, and they don't focus enough on how they say it.
Right.
The most important skill, hands down, that you have as a coach and a trainer, far more important than any other skill you can think of, more important than your knowledge, more important than your education, more important than how motivating you are, is your ability to communicate. And there's another word for that. It's called sales skills. Now, people listening may be thinking, well, what do you mean by sales skills? I'm not trying to sell tons of... You're always trying to sell fitness. Every time you talk to your client, look, if I'm talking to somebody... ABCF. And I'm trying to get them to change their eating behaviors, which these are ingrained behaviors. You know how hard it is to change somebody's eating behaviors. I have to sell it to them, but I have to do it in an effective way. And if I talk above them, or if I talk about too much stuff all at once, I might sound smart, but I'm not going to do a damn good job. I'm not going to do a good job at all. They're not going to change their behavior. So how you communicate by far is the most important skill. And here's the problem. Most of these trainers and coaches focus on learning more stuff, getting more certifications, getting more knowledgeable, who's the smarter guy or girl, and very few of them focus on how I communicate and am I actually really communicating this in a way that is supremely effective so that it's actually getting people to change. This is the story of Mind Pump. Okay, we started Mind Pump with zero media experience. Not a single person on this podcast had any experience with any kind of acting or media or podcasting or anything. But what we did have was...
I did a high school play, though.
Yeah, that doesn't... But what we did have, though, was decades of working with everyday people. And here's what happens when you train people for 2 decades. If you actually really care about people, if you really care about getting them better, is you start to figure that out. The first half of your career, you're just fucking, here's your macro breakdown, here's your meal plan, here's your workouts, follow it. Oh, cool, you lost 20 pounds. That's awesome. Oh, shit, you gained it back 3 months later. Or you stop working out with me. I see you again. Now you're back to where you were square one. You start to learn after about 10 years that, okay, it's not working. What I'm doing is not working. Sure, if they follow exactly what I say, they'll get in shape, but no one's doing that. So am I really helping anybody? So in the back half of your career, you realize, okay, how I'm communicating this is all wrong. I got to figure out a way to communicate what I know in a way that is effective so that people make forever changes. That's the truth. That's the key now. Do you want your clients to change temporarily? Because that's easy. Or do you want to get them to change forever? And if you're a good trainer, it's forever. Focus on your communication skills. I'll tell you something right now. If you have a certified trainer who's experienced and they're sitting there and they're weighing out whether they should invest money in a new certification or invest money in a course on sales skills, you know which one's going to give you way more payback in terms of client success and success of your business? Sales skills. Hands down, every single time.
Well, one of the things that is, and this is the conversation. So Danny and I just had this conversation recently because he's incredibly, I mean, I think Danny has more certifications than almost any trainer I've ever met in my life. At what, 23?
Yeah, I think you're right.
No, he does. He has so many of them.
He has all of them.
Yeah, he literally has every now. So the guy is just, for a 23-year-old, one of the smartest kids that I've met, especially pertaining to book smarts. Like he has read every certification and gone to all these courses. Now the problem is, and the challenge that anyone, including himself, has that I understand. Because I felt it even in my late 30s. I felt the insecure feeling that I had when I was on the YouTube channel when we first started. And that is, it's inevitable you're going to get these fucking trolls that come on there and they say shit to you. And it makes me want to, and what that causes me to do, like if you come in there and you talk shit, it makes me want to be like, oh, I need to show them how smart I am. Like I need to let them, like I'm not just some dumb trainer. Like I know what the fuck I'm doing. And so I start to elevate how I'm speaking, or I get deeper and more technical to defend myself with whoever it is that's insulting me. And the thing that I try to explain to Danny is like the 100 comments that come on there that are trolls that are coming in there to correct your terminology that you used. Those are not the same people that are sharing it with 10 of their friends because it was the most amazing cues that helped them inside the gym. So you need to pay no attention to them. And I use the example of some of our most viral videos. We've created some videos like the butt one, the bicep curl one I did, the chest fly one I did. And if you look on there, I have just as many negative comments. There's 100 people on there making fun of my calves, talking shit to me that I don't understand anatomy and where the bicep inserts, like all this fucking bullshit on there. And I think if I hadn't been doing this now for a while, I could see how somebody like Danny, when gets stuff like that, could affect you and then makes you want to come back over the top with like this really deep and technical, YouTube or podcast or whatever. Problem is that's not really helping all these people. And what it is the most basic, simple cue is, and then when I think back of being a trainer, like when I think about every exercise, that I've taught, no matter how simple the exercise is, I can tell you that there's a common mistake made, and at least one, if not 2 or 3 common mistakes that hundreds of people that have been in front of me make. And if I could just help one person or with one cue related to that exercise, that the person watching me on YouTube can now take back to the gym that day when they go in there.
That's easy to understand, makes perfect sense, and most people are going to experience an issue with.
Exactly.
That's it.
That is the YouTube that's the video that gets shared 1,000 times. And it's like when we look at our videos that are growing our YouTube channel, it's those videos. You can look at the ones that are the most viral, and it's never the most technical, in-depth video that we made. It's the most basic video that we made with a really practical, solid tip. I mean, the bicep curl, what I'm talking about, I talk about standing on a split stance and retracting your shoulders. It's like the stupidest.
Yeah, and you don't say that. You say pull your shoulders back.
Yeah, I say pull chest up, pull your shoulders back, and stand on one leg. Why? Because I know that I've taught that 1,000 fucking times, and everybody has the habit of rocking their shoulders or cheating it. And when you balance on one leg, you can't cheat it because you'll fall over. When you pull your shoulders back, it keeps you from rocking in the elbows and then getting the shoulders engaged in the exercise. That's it.
Yeah, simple.
Very simple.
Very simple. No, I'd say focus on how you say things. Are you really being effective in the long term? And here's the second thing. Stop focusing so much on motivation.
Thank you for saying that.
That is a losing battle, because here's the thing. If you want to develop a lifelong, consistent relationship with exercise, you cannot rely on motivation, because motivation does not last forever. There's not a single person on this planet that is always motivated all the time. It just doesn't work. It's a feeling like any other. It's like happiness or sadness or hunger or sleepiness. It comes and it goes. But if we're constantly training towards motivation, what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of people who start working out, and then when the motivation fades, they stop working out. And you really haven't helped anybody. So the key is to work away from that. How do I get people to become consistent without motivation? Well, I'll tell you. Start with a small, realistic yet challenging goal, but it's got to be realistic for the person. That may mean they just start working out once a week. That's all it may mean. Or it may mean they just read a page out of a fitness book. Actually had a client who had to start that way. Have them start doing that consistently, and then it becomes a behavior, and then naturally they'll start to add upon that. But the whole motivation thing this is why there's so many fitness fads. This is why there's spin classes are popular. Oh no, it's boot camp classes. Oh no, it's Orange Theory. Oh no, it's curves, because they're all about motivation, and motivation fades, and as that fades, then the fad goes away, and then the next one comes. Meanwhile, nobody's in shape forever. Nobody's really making any real impact.
Now once the motivation fades, now it lies on the science, and a lot of that shit's not supported by a lot of really good science.
Right. So there you go. Learn how to communicate better. That'll make you the most effective coach and trainer that you can be. And stop with the rah motivation shit. That stuff sounds fun and it's cool. Doesn't get anybody in shape forever.